Hey there, everybody. Welcome to 2017. We're still alive. And it's time for some more questions and answers. First one. What does marriage mean to you? What are you looking forward to? For me, it's pretty simple. Like I said in the song, building a road. I know it takes work and struggle and decades of humor and conversation. I'm looking forward to every morning and evening just sleeping beside her and, you know, shouldering through thick and thin. What does activism mean to you? I mean, literally, from an etymology point of view, the word activism means to take a direct course of action. It was a philosophy term prior to about 1907 when it was used specifically by a specific branch of individuals in Sweden who wanted to no longer remain neutral and advocate for being allied to the Central Powers in World War One, which was Germany, the Ottomans, the Hungarians on that side of the war. Today, for me, I can see it as being not defeated, in motion, making a choice to either be engaged in the political process, to help educate, to help either impede something that is harmful to the political process or harmful to our world. In my years of activism, I was, extremely strong in college, using a lot of agitprop theater, clown work to do protests against various things on campus. And USC is pretty conservative. It's a very corporate school, and their union laws aren't the best for their workers. There isn't really a union. There were a lot of terrible propositions in California around that time. There was some really punitive ones for minors that received punishments, especially for juvies. I remember doing protests for that and getting very disillusioned when, despite all my efforts, it felt like people didn't care, and the laws went, unfortunately, harshly still against minors for that. And then I remember seeing 2000 and 2001 and just feeling so disillusioned with the world and still trying to survive and deal with mental illness and still slowly be an activist in minor ways, and then just getting more and more introverted until today, where I'm very fearful just in my daily life. And then there's just so much more constantly to be bombarded by and inundated. And I guess my biggest advice for myself and for those I love and for those out there in the waking world is you don't have to be an activist for every goddamn thing, and that's okay. There's a lot. There's a lot because there's a lot of communication happening now. There's a lot of transparency happening. You can't hide the darkness as much as you used to. And that's great. But just as much as there's being exposed cruelty and kleptocracy, and the monsters are being exposed for who they are, there are lawyers in airport coffee shops. There are people marching. There are electronic votes being tallied for petitions. There are funds being raised. There are letter writing campaigns. There are hundreds of ways you can make a difference. Pick a pet project. Pick 2 or 3 if you want. What's your thing? You can start local if you want to. I've got a library here that's on the verge of being closed down because de Blasio wants to sell it off to some pals of his who want to turn it into low-income housing and then put the library inside. On the surface, that's what it looks like. There's a lot of scuffle, however, that looks a little sketch. There's some protests about that. There's some activism on board about that. I want to look into it. I've done about probably 80 petitions since November. This morning, I called the White House Defense Counsel and told them specifically to stop the appointment of Steve Bannon, if at all possible, just like thousands of others have done in the past 24 hours. It feels so small. It feels like an ant crawling across the Grand Canyon with a grain of sand. But that's all we can do. We are one of hundreds of millions of people on this state, in this nation. But we keep moving. And somehow, hopefully, we can make this state, this united set of states, a little better. Will your passion and background in the arts influence the way you raise pets or children? Well, you're goddamn right it will. You see, art is the use of imagination, patience, and limited resources along with affection to help others. That's all it is. Money doesn't always come if it ever comes. Those things are how you help an animal. You train an animal. That's how you make an animal feel warm and comfortable and safe, and how an animal can be a functional, delightful part of your own life. That's how a child can learn from you and get the tools they need to become a better person in this world. What 3 things in your life make you feel rich, wealthy, and abundant? These are not people, because there are people who do this as well. So I picked 3 specific things, materialist for a change. My laptop, this thing right here. This thing is only less than a year old, and I am enamored with it. Her name again is Slappy. The Lappy. She's amazing. I write music on her. I play games on her. I do my day job from her now because she's way faster than the mahanga junk that the work gave me. She is beautiful. She's new. I've never had anything new technology-wise for a while. It just makes me feel grown up. My day job, it's something 21-year-old me wrote about in the artist's way as the perfect artist life. Waking up in the morning, doing my art, being able to do things and calm down when I had to, and create, and still be able to love and to audition and to grow my inner life. All of it. My fears, my dreams, my singing in the shower, my goofiness, my staring off into space, my wondering about people thousands of miles away, those living and those dead. Lastly, if you were disconnected from anything word related for 2 weeks, what would you miss the most? Speaking, reading, or writing? I would miss reading. I'm no stranger to solitude, and I grew up in a transitional period on the cusp of the pre-internet era. I went to college right when the internet began its full abundance in 1996, 1995. So I would say reading for sure. I was really nerdy. I mean, I still am, but I read about 12 to 13 books a week for a while. I wouldn't talk to anybody during that time period, so reading would really suck if I didn't have anything else to do in terms of no internet, no just silent, no talking to people. Writing would be close, but if there was no pen and paper, I'd just think it all in my head, keep it in short little fragments. I do that a lot. I'll look at someone and I'll go, wet noodle, or disco pants, 30-minute poops. My questions for you this month. An alien crash lands into your bedroom, gets out of the little spacecraft, blinks open its little tentacles, looks at you, and wants to play your favorite game. Which one do you choose, and how do you play it? Second, what's a song you put on when you need a good cry? I love you all, and I'll see you next month.